Okay, so we're going to make caramel pecan rolls, and we've got our mise en place set up here. There's a lot of ingredients for this, so we've got pretty much everything ready to go. Okay, so the first thing that Cameron is gonna do is, well, first of all, he needs to get the beater on the mixer. And we're gonna use a dough hook because eventually we're gonna have a dough consistency here. Did you get it hooked in there right?
No, obviously not. Here we go.
Okay, and then can you turn the mixer to the side so that we can see better? Okay. All right, so he just put 1 cup of butter into the mixer bowl. We're gonna add in 1/2 cup of sugar and 2 teaspoons of salt. And 2 eggs.
Should I crack them into a bowl?
You can just crack them into one of those little glass bowls, yep. Okay, those go in. And then we're gonna put the mixer beater down and kind of stir that up. Next, Cameron's gonna add 3 packages of rapid rise yeast. You can cut it open with a scissor too if you want to.
Got it.
So now we've got all the yeast in there. We're just gonna give it a stir. And then Cameron, you can add the 2 and 1, you can keep it going, and then add the 2 1/4 cups of warm water. The recipe says about 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And then next after that, we're gonna add 4 cups of flour, 1 cup at a time. Can you get you know that measuring cup that's over by the sink? Just use that one. It's actually 1/2 cup, but it'll be fine. You can scoop 1/2 cup at a time. And so the total amount of flour that goes in here is 8 cups, so it's about half of the amount of flour at this point in time. Okay, so we're continuing to add the flour. The dough's looking really good, so we're just gonna keep going all the way up to the 8 cups until we get kind of a smooth dough. The mixer with the dough hook is kneading the dough as we go here, so we're just gonna keep adding until we get a smooth, thick dough. We're definitely starting to get a thicker dough here, and we're gonna continue to add flour until we get a dough that we could kind of handle with our fingers. All right, so we've got all the flour added, and we're just kind of letting the mixer knead the dough a little bit here to make our job that we have to do with our hands a little easier.
Are you doing it?
Yep. So now we're going to take the bowl off of the mixer, and that might be a little bit harder than you think, Cameron. Give it a little pop. Gotta figure out which way it goes. There we go. And we need to flour the countertop just a little bit. We're gonna turn the dough out onto a floured countertop. You might as well leave the flour out too, because we might need it a little bit while you're working. Do you want to put it over to the side? So it's out of your way? Okay, and you can put your dough out on the counter.
It's so heavy.
Can you pull it out of there with your hands?
Yeah. It's just so heavy I can't hold it with one hand.
Okay, is that it?
No, it's still like...
Still some in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Cameron's going to knead the dough, and basically you do that by push, turn, and fold. And you want to try and be kind of forceful when you do it. It's a little hard when your countertop is so tall compared to how tall you are. The dough is looking really smooth right now though, because the mixer kneaded it quite a bit for us, so we don't have to go quite as far. Typically you'd want to knead for about 10 minutes, but I think we're only going to need to knead for a couple of minutes here. You know the heel of your hand, Cameron?
Yep.
Can you show me what's the heel of your hand? Yeah, that's what you really want to push through the dough with. Yeah. That's the motion right there. That's what you want to do. Okay, so Cameron's going to cover the dough with a towel and just let it sit for 10 minutes so that it can rise and rest a little bit. Okay, so the dough has sat for 10 minutes, and now Cameron is going to divide the dough into 3 equal pieces. And then he's going to set 2 of them aside for right now, cover them with the towel. And then roll out the other one into a rectangle. You can move those towels and stuff even further. There you go, give yourself some space. That's fine. No big deal.
About.
So we're gonna roll this into a 14 by 8 inch rectangle, approximately. So you can turn your dough, or you can turn your rolling pin, roll the other way. You can also use your hands to kind of shape it into the shape that you want it to be in. Okay, so this is us rolling it out some more. We're probably a little longer than 14 inches, but that's okay. We're trying to get to the 8-inch wide width. Okay, now that we've got kind of a rectangular shape, Cameron is going to put 3 tablespoons of butter into a little dish. We're gonna melt that in the microwave, and then we're going to put that on the dough. Now that the butter is melted, Cameron's just going to pour that around on the top of the dough. And we can evenly distribute it. Probably the best thing to do is to just move it around with your fingers, or maybe a rubber scraper. Maybe the rubber scraper.
Yeah. Hot.
Is it hot? Yeah. Okay, and then the next thing that we need to do is to mix the cinnamon and sugar together. And then 1/3 of that cinnamon and sugar mixture goes on to this. So it is a cup of sugar and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon that are going to be mixed together here. Once you get it mixed together, Cameron, you can eyeball about 1/3 of that and spread it around on top of the butter. Okay, you're probably good. The next thing Cameron's gonna do is roll this up. And then if you wanted to, you could cut it with a serrated knife, but a pretty slick way to cut cinnamon rolls is with thread, or even better, dental floss that's a little stronger. So we need 8 rolls out of this dough. And so I think the easiest thing to do is to cut it in half first, and then to cut each piece in half after that. So you get nice, even rolls. And Cameron will show you how this dental floss works, really slick. So you just crisscross at the top and give it a little pull, and boom, it's cut. So how many pieces do you need from each of those halves, Cameron?
8.
Wait.
No, each of the halves 4.
Yeah. Okay, and he's just going to continue to do that. So here we are repeating the same steps on the second ball of dough. Rolling up and cutting the second ball of dough. Now this one we made a little closer to the actual size of 14 by 8, so these cinnamon rolls aren't going to be quite as long, which I think will turn out a little bit better. Cameron's cutting the third set of dough into cinnamon rolls. So now it's time to make the caramel pecan topping. So Cameron's gonna put 2 cups of butter in a saucepan. To the butter, we're going to add 2 cups of brown sugar. To that mixture, we're going to add 1/2 cup of light corn syrup. And probably use your rubber scraper to scrape it out of there into the saucepan. That's fine.
It's hot because it just came out of the dishwasher.
It's good. Maybe the corn syrup will come out easier. We're going to cook this mixture on the stove top, kind of medium heat. So Cameron, if you could turn the burner to maybe like number 5. We're just going to cook it until it melts together and is kind of smooth. we still have a couple of ingredients to add to it, some vanilla and the pecans. We're in the middle of melting the brown sugar and butter together here. Just continuing. Everything is melted, and so we're ready for the next step. We're going to take about a cup of this caramel syrup and put it in the bottom of each of 3 9x13 pans. And then 1 cup of pecans goes into that syrup as well. We almost forgot to add the vanilla, so we've got 1.5 teaspoons that's going in here. Cameron's gonna eyeball a 1/2 teaspoon. So we poured the caramel syrup and the pecans into the bottom of 2 pans. Right now we're waiting on the 3rd one because we have all of our cut cinnamon rolls in there. And so what Cameron's gonna do here is take 8 cinnamon rolls and lay them out in each of the 9x13 pans. So we're doing the last pan, putting the caramel sauce into the last pan. And somebody can get the pecans. Just put all of the rest of them in there.
Just dump them.
Just dump them, and then Cameron can stir it. Okay. And then we're going to put the last 8 rolls on the caramel sauce.
Okay. We have
Okay.
8 in each pan.
Yep, now we're gonna let them rise, cover them with towels and let them rise until they're doubled in size. And then we're going to bake them for 20 to 25 minutes.
So the cinnamon rolls have doubled in size. So we're gonna put them in the oven that's preheated at 350 degrees. And yeah. So we're gonna put the cinnamon rolls in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. Good. So the cinnamon rolls have been in the oven for about 25 minutes and they're boiling hot right now, so you should probably wait for about 15-20 minutes before they're cooled off.
Flip it over. There we go, sticky side up.
They look good. They're cooled off by now.
Enjoy. How was it?
Great.
How How's it?
Really good.